Hello everyone, this is Andrew from Moscow. Some comrades asked me to make another video in English, so here it is. This is my first bootleg versus real video. I hope you'll enjoy it. I discovered some bootlegs in my collection, so I became a victim of bootleggers. And thanks for a great YouTuber. Her name is the Predatoris, I believe so. She showed that there are some differences in this 30th anniversary line. And I checked my species and it appeared to be bootlegs. So in this video I want to show you the differences of these figures. Unfortunately, when the Predatoress made her video, she compared the Jungle Demon version versus the prototype version, and I decided to compare these two exactly the same versions of the prototype Predator. So to the left is the bootleg version and to the right is the original. What can I say? There are differences. I won't cover the very cheap bootleg which is currently on the market. You can simply identify it by the very bad prints, damaged prints on its armor. Here will be a picture. So this is a super bootleg, I believe. Now, what can we say? It is very simple to identify the bootleg version if you have a boxed Predator, prototype Predator. First of all, you have to look for this hook. On the bootleg version, it looks to the left, and on the original it looks to the right. Also, I noticed that the bootleg version has some protective skin on this hook. This is the first place where you have to watch. If you look closely to the box, you can see that the original box is very clear. It has a very clear prints, and the bootleg version have much more blurred printing. Yes, original, bootleg. There is a definitely difference. Basically, I can say that the figures itself are the same. The original is much clearer, and the bootleg has some blurrage, or blurred, I can say. Also, the original has much more emerald colors, while the bootleg version has much more green, I believe, colors. Okay, then you can put your finger on the Predator logo, and the bootleg version has much more elevated printing, while the original does not have such elevated prints. Okay. This side is basically the same. Oh, I forgot. Also, the prototype, the Predator logo on the bootleg has a much brighter red color foil, and the original has much darker red foil. Okay. Also, on the other side of the box, the printing is much more clear on the original. You can see the eyes, the teeth. On Dutch's face, it's his eyes. The prints are very clear, you can see all the details. And on the bootleg, it is much more blurred. You can see the difference. Much more blurred. Okay, the next steps. Okay, now look to the bottom of the boxes. This is the original and this is the bootleg version. You can see that the original has no space between R and T on the Predator logo, and the bootleg version has a space between R and T. The Real Toys logo on the original does not have white insides on Real Toys letters, and the bootleg version has such whites in the letters, yes. The original has under 3 years worn logo in bold fonts, and the bootleg version has in normal fonts. Okay. The box is definitely a bootleg because if it would be a reissue, for example, the year in this number would be another. But this has the same year and the month and date. For example, the Fugitive Predator of the 2080s year has different month inside these numbers. So this is definitely a bootleg. Okay, this is the main differences between the boxes. Now I'll unpack these boys and we'll see the difference between the figures itself. Stay tuned. Before we'll continue, I want to show you the blisters. The bootleg version has numbers, a blister protection, and the original has the same numbers, exactly the same numbers. So it is quite strange. Okay, so here we are. I opened the figures and I want to say that I'm quite disappointed, because there are no differences at all. Perhaps a little, so I'll show you what I have found. First of all, let's look for the plasma casters. I can't see any differences at all. On the left is the bootleg, on the right is the real. Perhaps some black wash on this area, on the bootleg. The original has clear spaces. Yeah, there is black paint, there is no. Otherwise the same exact piece, the same exact accessory. Okay, so let's see the skulls. There you can find a real difference in painting. The bootleg has less black wash, and the original has much more paint, black paint, and much more varnish, as you can see. Okay, so there is quite difference in paint job. I like the original more. Otherwise the same exact mold. So let's look at the predators themselves. What I have found is that on the original there is a black paint in this area, and the bootleg doesn't have it. Bootleg. Also, the original has a more silver paint, I think, and the bootleg has more bronze or yellow. Otherwise, the same exact figures, the same exact paint job. Even the battle damage stars are basically the same. If we look on its hands, right hand, the original has darker color, and the bootleg has slightly lighter. Also, what I have found, the original version has black wash on its skirt tips, and the bootleg doesn't have. The bootleg has clear brown tips on its skirt. And the left hand has much more brighter silver knuckles. The bootleg version has not so bright knuckles. Also, the original has much more sparkling black wash or black paint. The bootleg has more mattish color. Also, if we open the self-destruction computer system on the original and on the bootleg version, the bootleg version has much more bold letterings, and the original has much thinner letterings, as you can see. Otherwise, I can say that the figures are much more the same. They differ very much from the cheap bootlegs, but in this case it is the same exact figure. So at the end of this comparison video, I can say that the box is definitely a bootleg, and the figure, I believe it is a real version too, but perhaps with some main QC issues. Perhaps, I don't know. But this is but I can say that if you want a 100% real version, you definitely should find a not open box with all right prints on it. Otherwise, if you buy on the secondary market, perhaps you won't find any differences. Just if you can see these places which I showed you. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned. Next I'll review the differences between Jungle Demons 30th anniversary editions, and there are differences exactly. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.